The year is 2017. And very first month, I believe in January, we were introduced to the Nintendo Switch. An all-in-one hybrid handheld home console made by Nintendo. And 2017 was one of the best years for the Switch, if not the best, introducing console classics like Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And today, as we're recording, the Nintendo Switch 2 comes out tomorrow, thus bringing an end to the Switch 1 era. So today, we're going to go back and look at my top 10 favorite Nintendo Switch games of the console. And a couple ground rules and FYIs. Number 1, I am not going to try and populate this list with a bunch of Wii U ports. So as awesome as games as Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Super Mario 3D World, New Super Mario Bros. U, and Xenoblade Chronicles X are, I'm not going to have a ton of space for them on the list. But you'll see one or two of them, most definitely. Number 2 is I'm going to try and limit it to at least 2 per franchise. There may be more, I do not know. I can't remember off the top of my head. I've been recording this over a couple days, so I can't fully remember immediately if we do have more than one from one game. We'll see, but I tried my best not to do that. And later on, there's going to be some honorable mentions right before we reach the number 1 spot. The number ones, right before that, my criteria, I explain them later for honorable mentions. Basically, they're games I know that are good based on common consensus, but I either do not own or have not played. But I did want to highlight them as being part of the Nintendo Switch's library. And of course, there are many more incredible games that came out for the Switch, first and third party, that I don't mention because this video would take forever, because there's a lot of amazing games for the Switch. But without further ado, I'm Alolan Dolan, and let's get on to the list. Number 10 on my list of top 10 Switch games begins with Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Super Mario 3D World was one of the best games the Wii U's library had to offer, with what I think, me personally, has the best level design and some of the coolest power-ups we've seen in a Mario game to date. So 3D World is basically like the big brother of the 3DS launch title Super Mario 3D Land. That was also a great game in its own right, but 3D World takes it to another level. As you can see, the story starts in typical Mario fashion, with Bowser being a menace and capturing what these are called Sprixies, and going into the brand new clear pipe system that they have in this game. They do still have the usual green pipes, but then they also have the clear pipes that can like take you in these little tubes, like you know when you're at the bank and you have to like you give them like a check and it goes to that little tube system. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, this game had amazing level design, great visuals, like I said, incredible power-ups, and just the gameplay itself. All the characters moved fluently. We had great movement, similar to the 3D games of like Super Mario Galaxy and 64. You have, as you can see, your long jump. There goes the glide there. You have a lot of aerial movement, and each character does have their own unique spin on things. For example, Mario is kind of just the do-it-all kind of guy. Luigi can jump higher, Peach can glide, and Toad has a faster dash. Rosalina is also in this game, and she has like a spin attack similar to like Mario's spin attack from Super Mario Galaxy. And that can be also used to defeat enemies. But yeah, this game introduced 2 awesome brand new power-ups. This being Cat Mario, which I believe all around is the best Mario power-up he's had. Because it's just so... You can do so much with it. You can see that little sliding dash. You can do the dive. Then we have the Double Cherry that always had like really interesting power-up overlap with, like you said, the Fire Flower. There's specific puzzles. And then you have classic power-ups like Fire Mario. You have Tanuki Mario. And everything. Yeah, and as you can see, like I said before, the game is gorgeous. Each world has its own unique style to it. You have like the typical grassland world, the ice, the desert world, the forest levels. I think the game is just glorious to look at, and it just brought so much to the Mario series. I was so happy to see, and they've been following this comeback, and they've been following the Nintendo formula, where games I guess would say remastered, but redone they get this extra element to them. For example, for the 3DS, we had the remake of the Mario and Luigi games, and you had, I think it was Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga plus Bowser Jr.'s Minions, and then we had, or was that the Thousand Year Door remake? But yeah, Super Mario 3D World is just such a great game. It was a fantastic thing to see this for Mario's 35th anniversary. And yeah, if we go on a little bit ahead, you can see the extra mode that this game came with called Bowser's Fury. And Bowser's Fury is a sort of open world-esque mode where you and Bowser Jr. will team up to take on Fury Bowser, who is, you can probably see him in the background there. But you go around and you collect cat shines by completing different challenges, doing different puzzles. And eventually, I think every so often, I don't know how often, but Fury Bowser eventually gets out of his little spiky mud cocoon and attacks the land. And you have to fight against him. And that is one of the better Bowser fights that can happen. Kind of like, it's almost up to the level of like the Super Mario Galaxy boss fights. And of course this game has 2-player co-op, and there's a lot of people going around saying that this may be like a test for a potential open world Mario, because Super Mario Odyssey was pretty open-ended, but this came out afterwards, so maybe they're trying to do like full open world. And then yeah, here comes the Fury Bowser. And on another thing on it, insanely good design. The all black with the red hair. It goes into like the storm. Yeah. Super Mario 3D World is just all around a great time, a great game, and as much I wanted to put it higher, this probably could have been a better list for like a top 20 Switch games, but that's a lot. But we'll have a good few honorable mentions later. But yeah, starting off the list at number 10 is Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury. Number 9 on my list is Splatoon 2, the first of many surprises on my list today. Splatoon 2 definitely, in my opinion, makes it over Splatoon 3 in a couple categories. First things first, I think Splatoon 2 overall had slightly better storyline compared to Splatoon 3. I definitely prefer the gameplay style of Splatoon 2 and its specials over Splatoon 3. And I don't know what it was about Splatoon 3. I enjoyed Splatoon 3 when I got it. And the story is good. I haven't gotten any of the DLC, so maybe that would have changed my mind, but I don't know if it was the maps. I don't know if it was, because nothing really changed totally from Splatoon 2 to 3. Here we are still in Inkopolis. I think it may be a different part of Inkopolis. This is the square. I think last time would have been the main city. But I don't know what it was about Splatoon 2. Oh, just playing it. I don't know if it, I wouldn't say it was burnout, because I didn't put a whole bunch of hours into Splatoon 2. Kind of like a game we'll talk about later. But I don't think I had a lot of burnout. It's just that compared to Splatoon 2 and 3, I just preferred 2. I don't know if they did some kind of intermittent changes to Splatoon 3 that made me like 2 more. The gear system is pretty much the same. The gear still looks great in both games. But something about it just didn't really click with me for Splatoon 3. And it might be because of this one extra thing that they added later on in the Splatoon 2 timeline. And that thing that came along later on that I was just talking about was this. Later on in this lifetime for this, we got the Octo expansion. And the Octo expansion, in my opinion, is one of the best pieces of DLC Nintendo has come out with. The Octo expansion is exactly what it kind of says. You play as an Octoling, which they showed up in the Splatoon 1 and 2 campaigns, but were never playable as they were that was the main enemy race, the Octarians and everything. But now we have the Octoling expansion, which you get to play as an Octoling. They added it as a playable character type, and that stayed through to Splatoon 3. But this expansion was very, very interesting. It kind of followed along an interesting storyline with all these kooky characters. It was actually pretty difficult. It had its own set of bosses. It had a little upgrade system. It had these very cool mission types. Everything about the Octo expansion was very interesting. There goes, his name is C. Cucumber, which may be the greatest named Hun ever, but this was a very interesting expansion because it also, I believe, there was the, first off, spoilers for a, like, 7-year-old game, but whatever. The main character, I think, of Splatoon 1, Agent, I don't know if it's Agent 3, there's like 8 agents, I don't know, there's a lot of agents. But, I think they are they the ones that are, like, brainwashed or anything? I know they show up sometime in the story, but I just really like Splatoon's Octo expansion because it was sort of a departure of the main Splatoon thing, where they still did the whole thing where you get to the goal, find checkpoints and secrets, but there was a lot that they added. It was actually quite a difficulty spike and everything like that. But yeah, Splatoon 2, I just kind of preferred it over Splatoon 1, and yeah. Number 8 on the list, and what's sure to be a shock to maybe the majority of people that watch this video, not between my real life friends and everything, because they know I didn't really play this game that hard, but anyone who comes across this video and sees this at number 8 may be a bit surprised. Of course, as you can see, number 8 for me was Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Smash Ultimate was supposed to be, it still is in my opinion the best Smash game, but it was supposed to be, look at the title, Ultimate. The big selling point for the game was everyone was here. Every single Smash character from Mario all the way up to Bayonetta was in the game. And that was such a massive hype spectacle. One of the most hype spectacles I've seen for a Nintendo reveal in many, many years. And as you can see, the last character they showed was the brand new character, Ridley, which is a character everyone wanted in Smash for forever, but they're like, he's too big, he's too large, he'll never work. Lo and behold, they learned to make him work. But why, do you ask, is Smash Bros. Ultimate low down on the list? For many people, for lists I've seen, this is like top 5, maybe even top 3. First things first, it goes to the point that, although I do love it, I'm not the biggest Smash Brothers fan. I've played since Brawl. I've played Brawl, Melee 4, and Ultimate. I do love Smash Brothers. The act of Nintendo characters and other characters that are like cool with Nintendo coming together in a giant platform fighter is music to everyone's ears. But for me, the game is cool. I love the characters, I love the music. It's just never really been a game I've really gravitated to over the years. But you can't really say anything really too crazy bad about this game. You gotta give it its flowers for everything it accomplished. 90 plus characters, 800 plus music tracks, 130 plus stages. The game's huge. And it's weird, it's that big, but for some reason, for a game this large size, it's weirdly starved for content. What I mean by that is, in the older Smash Brothers games, let's go for Smash 4. Smash 4 definitely has the most content in the series, I would say, even though it doesn't have like a straight up story mode. But you had like classic mode, adventure mode, you had the fun modes like Target Smash, Home Run Contests, and everything. But one thing for replayability that was carried over in a lot of Sakurai's games was the trophies. You would earn whatever be like achievement trophy you could get, and you could collect them and get like a trophy vault and things like that. But Smash Ultimate doesn't have trophies. It instead uses the spirits thing, which the spirits, there's definitely a lot more. There's thousands upon thousands of spirits, but they don't really do much. They kind of just are equipped to your character and give them like augmented abilities. And I'd much prefer, from especially as like a game, like a collectathon kind of guy, I would love to go back and collect those trophies instead of just collecting spirits to just equip to my fighter for little boosts. And of course, Smash 3DS had Smash Tour? And I think that we had Smash Run, which were both fun modes, some kind of similar to each other. A lot like Sakurai's other game, Kirby Air Ride, the city trial mode, where you go around collecting power-ups and upgrading your character, and eventually you take that upgraded character and you fight other players or bosses or just the computer itself. But yeah, for a game with this much to do, there's not a lot to do. If you're not playing, I mean, you can play. I played through World of Light, which was the crazy story mode that got everyone hyped up because they had a giant being in the sky and like a freaking 100 Master Hands coming out. Everyone was disappearing except for Kirby. So you start with Kirby and you go through this World of Light, and you go around and you free the enemies that are controlled by those spirits. Then I fought the main enemy, beat him, and I was like, oh, that was kind of fun, but also kind of short. And then the World of Light, I think there's like a dark world, and it like the map, it had like 7 more sections of the map added, and I said I have no desire to play this because it's not very fun to me, in my opinion. Like I would much prefer a side mode like Smash Run or Smash Tour, or maybe a bigger mode, because this was supposed to be like the Subspace Emissary, which is a much more beloved story mode. This was literally just spirit battles over and over. And it just wasn't really, it just wasn't fun. And like I said, other than that, you don't really have much to do other than just play with your friends, play online, or play against CPU, which, to be fair, that is the motif of Smash Brothers. It is a cooperative / competitive fighting style game where you play with your friends, couch co-op, or online. I know that's the thing. That's the thing that gives it the replayability, is just playing with your friends. But I don't know. I really miss the trophy system from the other games, and just about it's just I don't know what it was. I just didn't really. The longevity for this wasn't really great. Now, of course, you see in the background we've been doing the character reveal trailers. The character reveals, they had the King K. Rool. You just saw Simon and Richter Belmont. Later on, we had Kazuya, Banjo-Kazooie, Minecraft Steve. I mean, they brought a lot of characters they wanted. A ton of people wanted Banjo and Kazooie, and they finally brought it. K. Rool finally came to the game. And Sora was such a massive character because apparently it won the Smash ballot. But I guess they couldn't get the rights to it from Disney or whatever. But people lost their mind. I saw reactions to Sora. They were in tears. There were people on their knees crying because Sora was finally in Smash Brothers. Now, to be fair, the trailer for him is unbelievable. I will slide to it right now. I remember when I first saw this trailer. And I saw this, and I think me and the other YouTuber Maximilian dude had the same idea. When we see Mario open his eyes here and see that, I was thinking Dark Souls. I don't know how. I don't know who it would have been. I don't know if it would have been Artorias. I don't know if it would have been Old Boy Praise the Sun. Sorry, I haven't played much Dark Souls. I'm bad at those games. But I saw this like, is it Dark Souls? What's going to happen? He goes in, he grabs the fire, throws it, and it turns into a Keyblade. And people around the world had a panic attack. They were crying, they were screaming, and to be fair, like I said, the trailer's magnificent. The light goes in. Of course, I don't have it here. I might have it post-editing. That's going to be my first editing video, so I hope I do a good job. But Sora comes out, and it's the main Kingdom Hearts theme, which, first off, Yoko Shimomura does no wrong. Everything she produces is magic. She produced music for this game. She's done it for Mario and Luigi, and of course, Kingdom Hearts. This trailer, it was amazing. You had the music going. He's flying through the sky, and then that was honestly the perfect character to end the DLC run on. So as a spectacle, as a gaming compilation, there isn't anything really better out there than Smash Brothers. You're not going to get a game that has this many characters from this many iconic franchises in the same game. It's just not going to happen. But yeah, overall, still a great game. However, it did leave me a little bit disappointed but even then, the sheer scope and magnitude and importance of this game leaves me no other choice than to have it be number 8 on my list today. Number 7 on the list for my top 10 Switch games goes to Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Kirby's first 3D adventure ever, I believe, because 64 was a 2D, but like the first like home console 2D. Everything else had been handhelds. But Kirby and the Forgotten Realm is one of the better 3D platformers I've played, because anything kind of with like a Kirby spin on it is going to give me lots and lots of enjoyment. So, not only do we have like all sorts of fun puzzle challenges, as you can see, the game looks great. It has that typical Kirby charm with its kind of typical story. It's just bad guy captures something and Kirby goes out and finds it. And the Forgotten Land has one of my favorite kinds of level design out there, because it's like, I always love the aesthetic of abandoned areas. So like the abandoned mall here, you got the nice water levels, and this abandoned amusement park. Like, it's really nice level design. We also have, the first time since Kirby 64, like I mentioned earlier, the ability to combine your copy abilities. Not combine per se, but upgrade them. There's different forms of different copy abilities. And those are... Oh, I'm going to it now. There's a couple new ones in this game too. I saw we have the Driller Kirby, and then there's... I don't know what the gun Kirby's called. It's not like Shooter or Marksman. I forgot what it is. It'll let you know. But yeah, we have a lot of classics, but also, unlike a lot of games, there's not very many copy abilities, I will say. You know, past games have like 40 or 50 copy abilities. This game only has... It's Ranger, that's what it is. This game only has like 8 or 9. See, Bomb, Fire, Ranger, Tornado, Sleep, Crash. But it has the variants, which gives them different movesets. And different styles of play. Because usually you have all sorts of copy abilities. Like, you have access to, oh lord, let me think. Let's see, you got Needle. In this game, it does suck, because I would love, ones like Ninja. Ranger's fine, because we have, I was looking for, not Ranger, we have Ranger, and I really, because my favorite is, Archer. Archer and Ninja are my two favorites, and then there's no Spear Kirby. So that's unfortunate, but the abilities and everything with the upgrading makes it better. And then another main gimmick of this game is the Mouthful Kirbys, which are a lot more puzzle solving and platforming challenges that can occur. Just different gameplay styles. I think they're very interesting. Light Bulb is pretty good. I think my favorite usually is just the car one. But I mean, Water Balloon is used for good puzzle solving, like watering those flowers in the distance. Stairs, obviously, stairs. Yeah, Mouthful Kirby, it's a fun little gimmick. I really like what they do with the level design and puzzle solving. A lot of secrets to find, like finding all the caged Waddle Dees to rebuild Waddle Dee Town. It's a fun time, and of course, as you saw earlier, you know, as Kirby, typical Kirby fashion, the bosses are incredible. You have like the lion and the monkey, the lion boss you can fight. There's a buff DDD, the Hawaiian version of Whiskey Woods. But yeah, so yeah, it's a great time. Kirby in the Forgotten Land is one of my favorite Kirby games. It's not my favorite. It's still gotta go to Return to Dreamland Deluxe. Return to Dreamland was my first Kirby game. I was a little late bloomer to Nintendo, so that's why that was late on that. Co-op as well. But yeah, number 7, Kirby and the Forgotten Land. On going to number 6, we have Super Mario Bros. Wonder. I was gonna say, it's not the first one, but it is the only brand new 2D platformer for Mario, besides like Mario 35, which no longer exists. Yes, Super Mario Bros. Wonder is an evolution of the 2D Mario sphere after getting years and years of repeated new Super Mario Bros. Series games, which I do enjoy. I definitely prefer the console over the handheld ones. We now have Super Mario Bros. Wonder. As we can see, Bowser has taken a Wonder Seed, a Wonder Plant, Wonder Flower. Wonder Seeds are the little collectibles. Wonder Flower, and he is turned into, well, his own version of like his giant spaceship. And unlike other games, this does not take place in the Mushroom Kingdom. It is the Flower Kingdom. We have 7 worlds, and it's a very cool version of a 2D Mario. As you see in this video, there'll be a lot of fun things, lots of cool different platforming. One of the things I keep talking about for just Nintendo in general is the word I always say and like with my friends and when I talk about them is charm. You can just look at the overworld and see how pretty and well designed it is. Mario's new character design along with his facial expressions with the rest of the cast just ooze that Nintendo charm. And there's a lot of characters in this game. One slight gripe is as you can see over there, it says Yoshi's and Nabbit won't take damage and can't use power-ups because they're like the quote-unquote easy mode characters. Which is unfortunate because, I mean, I like Yoshi and I love Nabbit, so why would I not want to play as them normally? But yeah, it's kind of unfortunate that they have that as like the easy mode character. They can't use power-ups and everything, and they just shrug off hits. Yoshi has his classic flutter jump and can eat things. And I think my favorite thing about this, it's very just like I was talking about previously with Kirby in the Forgotten Land, its take on interesting 3D platforming. 2D Mario has always been relatively basic with its platforming. You usually just have your standard moves of running, jumping, the spin attack. But this game does a lot more. Mario seems a lot faster. There's like these cool rail grind sections you have. Cool new power-ups like the elephant and the bubble Mario that adds for extra jumping abilities. Drill Mario can be used also in those kinds of ways. And then also, they'll probably touch upon it in this little overview trailer. The badge system gives you brand new moves. So you have like you can do like the cap flutter with you when you take out your cap and kind of glide. You can do like a different spin attack. Things like that. The badge system is also very interesting in unlocking new ways to play the game. And of course, speaking of new ways to play the game, we have the Wonder effects. If you grab a Wonder Flower, the level transforms into some kind of crazy nonsense that you always get a Wonder Seed after, so you can have rocks chasing you, singing Piranha Plants, which was my favorite because I haven't really played this game too much. Unfortunately, I just don't do that all the time. You have enemy transformation sections, you have object transformation sections, overhead sections, maybe even something 3D. You got a little balloon section reminiscent of Super Mario World with the P balloon. And yeah, it's just an all-around good time. That's why I'm really ready for the Nintendo Switch. I'm probably going to be playing that a lot more than my other consoles, just so I can get through my backlog of Switch games. There are games that are still in the case that I have not opened or installed on my Switch. That's definitely my favorite, though. The parachute cap, it's so handy for that. Oh yeah, I forgot about the grappling hook. Like, come on, dude. They gave him a grappling hook. Just the levels of platforming in this game are something else. They are a joy to be around, and I need to play this game again, which is what I need, which is definitely something I really have touched upon. So yeah, at number 6, it's Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Starting off the top 5, we have Animal Crossing New Horizons. New Horizons was the long-awaited debut of Animal Crossing on the Nintendo Switch, and really helped our 2020 go by a lot smoother. As we all know, they had the pandemic during that year, and Animal Crossing was a big component as to why the year was a little bit better than it could have been. You know, it could have been a lot worse. For some people it was, which is unfortunate, but we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Animal Crossing. I was never, like I said, I was a late bloomer to Nintendo's in general. Never really knew about Animal Crossing until I got it on the 3DS, and New Leaf rapidly became one of my favorite games that I've ever played. And of course, seeing the next evolution of the franchise like this really made me excited. So, in this game, you are greeted with an island getaway package by Nook Industries, Nook Services, I think Nook Industries. And you do the usual thing. You create your character, you pick your island layout, and then you are flown to the island. You are given your tent, and then you go on off and start doing your thing. So the main thing in this game we do, instead of just going out outright, you can still do this, but outright and buying tools, you can go around the island and craft them with different pieces of the island. As you can see, a stone and a tree branch. You craft that into an axe, and as you unlock later versions, the more durable options, it will require different ingredients. And those are used for collecting wood, which wood is probably the most important resource in this game because almost all of it uses it, whether your shovels, your watering poles, the new vaulting pole. And this is another really interesting feature I like. Place furniture wherever, and I really love how they have the outside of your house decorated. Big skill issue for me because I really do want to make something like this, but I'm not the best builder at anything. This looks just such like a charming. I'm gonna say charming so many times during this video, but just so much you can do. One of the things I really need to learn how to do is whenever I do get my island fully leveled. Again, because I've had to restart, I believe, a time or two, is I really do want to get everyone like a fenced-in yard and like put things that they would like in their yard, and it'd be really cool. And here is one of the new systems, the Nook Miles feature. This is used at a little kiosk to the right, where you can craft different items or set up different things to be built, like bridges and things like that. And then you usually have the classic formula of this game where you're watering your flowers, you're catching fish, clearing up weeds, collecting fossils, catching bugs, the usual Animal Crossing shtick. As I've said for all the other games on this list, the game looks incredible, sounds great with its music, and this is another really cool feature. If you eat fruit, you get increased strength, and you can do things you probably couldn't do, like move trees around. And of course, you have the dynamic time and weather system. The seasonal system returns from I think the very first game had seasons. Yeah, and of course, I've always taken breaks around the time my favorite seasons of fall and winter show up. So I think this time with the Switch 2 giving me maybe a renewed rejuvenation for Nintendo games, I will be able to play this a lot more. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So number 5 is Animal Crossing New Horizons. Number 4 is going to be Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I am a huge Pokemon enjoyer and a big fan of the games they had on the Switch. Let's Go was fun. Sword and Shield are really good. I almost put them on the list instead of these. But at the end, I could not overlook Scarlet and Violet. I'm going to look at this as the overview trailer. I do not have any. I could find Switch 2 gameplay, but alas, I'm going to go for this because the overview trailers really give me some great talking points to go off of. But if you haven't seen, Scarlet and Violet runs at an uninterrupted 60 frames per second, even through tough environments like the lake and during the weather. So that is going to be one of the games I am stoked to play. But as time has gone on, this is one of the games that got a lot of controversy around launch. Yes, the graphics aren't really up to snuff. They've never really been good in Pokemon games, but even these are a little on the lower side. And a thing that's more apparent was the performance issues. Despite these being my favorite top 5 game on the Switch for me, I cannot excuse those. That was really rough. Every time the weather started, you were going to lag. The tag tree thicket and the lake were also big sources of lag. But those didn't stop me from loving the game. As I was mentioning before, I brought up that point. As time has gone on, Pokemon has really adjusted the way its games are made. Usually, before Gen 5, it was kind of basic with in regards to story, except for maybe Gen 3 and 4 it started doing, but Gen 5 is really when the story took off, and we started getting characters that were extremely recognizable. Now we're in Gen 9. There are 3 separate stories, and some of the best characters we've ever seen. The starters earlier are also really great starter trio. Characters like Nemona, like Arvin, and Penny, the teachers. It's very interesting, and that was one of the things I don't really see many people talk about in this game. Is the like the side activities with the class. No one really talks about the. I just thought it was really interesting how they implemented the school and taking your classes and doing tests. I was one of the things I was talking about with Keith when we first started playing this game. Like, yeah, well, I'm like actually excited to go to school in this game. It's actually kind of interesting. But yeah, each character has their own story. Nemona is a champion rank trainer who focuses on battling. So she is going to be like the main uh, head of your gym challenge, where it's the typical you go around, collect the 8 badges, face the Elite Four, then champion. In this game, like I said, she's a champion rank trainer, but not the top champion. That moniker goes to Gita. Arvin has the Titan storyline, as you saw with the big cloth. You go around the map finding large Pokemon and doing like these Titan raid battles. And to find this rare item called an Herba Mystica, and as you find out, it is later for his sick dog. His Mastiff is unwell, and he is using the Herba Mystica to try and help cure his Mastiff of whatever ailment it has. And then lastly, you have the Penny being the spearhead of the Team Star missions. Team Star was I guess a villainous group. They were just a bunch of kids who were bullied and kind of like outcasted from the school. And they have these large starmobiles that you do, and in those things, and they're another very likable group of characters. And it's been playing in the background for a bit. The main gimmick in this game is terrestrialization, where you can change the type of your Pokemon to whichever type you get, or you can get like the Terra shards and change its type in Medali at the restaurant. So, and it's a very interesting gimmick. I do love it for both offense and defense. It is interestingly both for offense specifically because despite changing to a different type, you keep your original stab. So, for example, if you like they said the Magneton earlier, that was a grass type, it gets stab on electric and steel, but also grass types now. We've had some of the little fun features. The picnics were a lot of fun, making the sandwiches to hunt shinies, seeing how all the Pokemon react, just like this and like the curry picnics. Just seeing all the emotions that they give the Pokemon and how they interact with each other is always just a blast to see. Um, but yeah, and I said the story is great. They did zoom on the go where you want thing and do what you want, but however, one of the things about the open world that I do have some gripes with is not only the is there a set order for things. The open world is kind of shallow. I'm not gonna lie to you. Most open world games I play, like the Breath of the Wilds, like Odyssey, Ghost of Tsushima, everything has secrets and fun things to discover. The only secrets this game really has, there's a couple caves that may have some Terramons in it, but other than that, the caves really have like items, and they don't really do much with it. So hopefully in the next game, if they continue this open world thing, which is Legends EA, but maybe the next main series game, because Legends is like a little um side why can't I think of the word? It's a side game. So I don't know how that open world is going to evolve because it's going to take place within one city. But like I've been saying, I love Scarlet and Violet. The story is fantastic. The music's incredible. The characters are extremely likable. And it's just an overall fun time, and I really am happy it's getting the Switch 2 upgrades. It desperately needs them, and hopefully this is an opportunity for more people to enjoy the game as much as I have. So number 3 is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Number 3, we enter the top 3, and we enter it with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was obviously the Switch version of Mario Kart 8, which was a great Mario Kart entry from the Wii U era. I very much enjoyed Mario Kart 8, but then Deluxe comes out with not only all its DLC from the Wii U version, but as you can see from this video, it included something later on in the line called the Booster Course Pass. So I want to say I think there was 48 tracks, and then they just said double it. So now we had 96 tracks from past Mario games and a couple new ones here and there that made their debut, and man, oh man, it's just content for days. You have everything available to you, so many characters, stunning visuals on the remakes. Some of the lines are unrecognizable. Like you could have told me that was GBA Mario Circuit. I've been like, what? Toad's Turnpike looks about the same. It's Toad's Turnpike. But Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was another evolution on the series from 7. 7 introduced the customization feature with different kart parts, gliders, and wheels. And now this game introduces the anti-gravity mechanic, which allows for a very fun and interesting track design that just let them create paths that no one ever really thought possible. And now they were able to do so with that anti-gravity mechanic. And it led to what I believe was the best course design in the entire series. You have all these crazy awesome tracks, like just the Star Cup in this game alone has just so much fire. I think I just always gravitate to that specifically, but it starts with Sunshine Airport, then goes into, which one was it? It was in the earlier at the beginning of the video. Sorry, but it also I'll go find out right now. What's the beginning? What's the Star Cup have again? Dolphin Shoals. That's right. So not Shy Guy Falls, Sunshine Airport, Dolphin Shoals, and then you get Electrodrome Mount Wario. That's just one of the 96 tracks. One cup of the 96 tracks. The gameplay for the newer Mario Karts is nice. I do enjoy the way the things look, but I am kind of looking forward back to Mario Kart World. Going back to the more just straight up, you get a character in a vehicle and then you race. And that track design also looks to take another level, and they also had a ton of just terrific choices. Even though I don't know why they still haven't remade Wario Coliseum. That would be perfect for the anti-gravity mechanic, and I've seen custom tracks of people doing it, and it fits perfectly. And then also DS and GBA Rainbow Road still haven't been remade. But alas, I mean, the tracks that they chose are incredible. I do love Rock Rock Mountain. Maple Treeway is a classic. So overall, they did an incredible job at including fan favorite tracks and remixing them in very fun and interesting ways. And it led to a game that lasted over a decade. People were playing it on the Switch and the Wii U, and playing on the Wii U, and then the Switch came out. And I don't know if it was a launch title. I think it came out very early, very, very early in the Switch's lifespan. And they played it for another 8 years. So this is a game that's been played since, I think, 2015. So literally 10 years old. I don't remember when exactly this game came out. But over a decade, they supplied this game. And hopefully they can do the same with Mario Kart World, giving us different islands and open worlds to drive. And yeah, what a time it was to play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe all these years. So with that being said, number 3 will be Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Coming in at number 2 is going to be Super Mario Odyssey, the 3D Mario adventure for the Nintendo Switch. Mario Odyssey is one of the best games I've ever played. I constantly go back and forth between which one, this or Galaxy 2, being my favorite. It can depend on my mood most days. But Mario Odyssey is a game that you just have to play if you have a Switch. Whenever Nintendo consoles come out, the number one game, I would argue, that people are excited for is the next mainline 3D Mario. They are system sellers. Ever since the 64, you had Super Mario 64, then you had Odyssey, and then Galaxy, 3D World, now Odyssey. Like, these are the games that people get these consoles for, is 3D Mario. And what an evolution and return to form for Mario that we had. We got introduced to the capture mechanic, which it kind of reminds me of the Kirby copy abilities, but instead of copying the enemy, you just straight up become them. And there are tons of different captures in this game. They're all used for accessing secret areas, for puzzle solving, platforming, traversal, quality of life, like with the Cheep Cheep being able to just breathe underwater forever. It really just was incredible for this game. Here is your, not hub world, but your main hub, and your main collectible, the Power Moons. The Power Moons are used to collect these and travel to different worlds. And there's a lot of Power Moons. There's, I believe, like 800 Power Moons. Most of them are kind of like this in plain sight. You see a sparkle, or you just see a cage that you can just go under or around, like this, just on a moving platform. But a lot of these are very interesting. A lot behind these platforming challenges or puzzles. It's just one of those games where you just never misses. The bosses are fun. Each world, Metro Kingdom, the Fossil Falls, which is it? It's not the Fossil Kingdom. Or the Falls Kingdom. I don't remember the name of it. I'm not gonna lie to you. But Fossil Falls, the Cascade Kingdom. That's what it is. All the outfits, as you can see, look incredible. All the kingdoms. You can be a daggum T-Rex for crying out loud. Cappy is probably the best way Mario has ever been implemented for platforming. The amount of tricks and jumps you can do with Cappy is insanity. You can long jump, throw the cap, dive on the cap. It gives you like a little boost, and then you dive forward again. You can throw the cap upwards or downwards to get to things that are under or above platforms. You could be falling down, throw the cap up, and attach to one of those little launchers, or like those forks that are stuck in the wall. There's all these fun little mini games, and then later on they had a little update where they really had the Luigi's Balloon World, which was also a very fun experience where you get to go around the world hiding and fighting balloons that other players have hidden, and you get coins based on it. Of course, a couple accessibility options, assist mode and everything, which it's nice for people who need a little extra helping hand. But yeah, what an adventure Mario Odyssey was. Just like all the other games on the list, just great music, visuals, everything about the game was just, it was just borderline perfect. Odyssey, like I said, is a game that you need to experience if you are a fan of Mario, or if you're brand new to Nintendo. Kind of like how I was back in the day with Super Mario Galaxy 2. When I looked at I had Nintendo consoles, but I never had any Nintendo games. I kind of just had my own things. Like, I had Wii Sports and everything, but then it was just like sports games and racing games, because that's what I grew up playing the most. But all it took was me getting Super Mario Galaxy one day, and that changed my gaming life forever. And it's led me to play all these sorts of amazing Nintendo games that I'm talking about today. So yeah, shout out to them. Anyway, number 2 is Super Mario Odyssey. Alright, before we get to the number 1 on the list, we have we have a lot of honorable mentions. So buckle in, because this is where we get a little bit controversial. You'll see though. So starting off, the honorable mentions I will have are games that I either have never played, but accept are very good based on general public and consensus, or B, I have but haven't gotten to yet because my backlog. There's a lot here. I'm not going to dwell on some too much. There's going to be a couple I talk about, but let's get started. First up is Metroid Dread. Metroid Dread is a game that I'm really, really wanting to get. It is a awesome looking 2D Metroid platformer with some awesome gunplay, with the parry system, puzzle solving and usual. Looks like a great storyline, some cool transformations. Would love to get Metroid Dread. Link's Awakening remake or remaster, I'd say remake. Another charming top-down 2D Zelda. I guess it could be mainly 3D, but yeah, it's 3D, but top-down perspective, looks great. Don't know if I have this game, just haven't got around to buying it or playing it. This is a game I do have, Luigi's Mansion 3. I had it when it came out, and then I lost it. I don't know where it is. It's just gone. So I did get another copy recently with the little voucher system they had. I wonder if they're still around. I don't remember. But Luigi Mansion 3 has awesome giant hotel area, great puzzle solving, very good graphics. The ghost hunting mechanic looks a little shallow, I will say, compared to the other games where you kind of just suck them up to a certain point and then just slam them on the floor. It's funny looking, but it's very repetitive looking, I will say. Pokemon Sword and Shield, I did talk about this when I was bringing up Scarlet and Violet. These games, I don't know, because the story's not quite as good. The characters are still great, but not quite as good. But I prefer the visual style of this game. Switch 1 version of Scarlet and Violet, of course. It ran better. The animations in battle were better. The atmosphere for battles were better. So listen, this sounds like I should, but it was just parts of the story in Scarlet and Violet, and the characters really took it above the notch, especially in the later part of the game. And the 2 DLCs we got were great. I think they were definitely better than the 2 DLCs we got in the first game. But Sword and Shield is definitely just a great game. Like I said, I love the battle atmosphere. I love the battle animations. Pokemon designs for this generation are also really good. Sword and Shield was a lot of fun. Next up, Xenoblade Chronicles. This is a series I've never played, but would hope to maybe try in the future. There's 4 games I need to get, so there's 1, 2, 3, and X, but they are all on the Switch, so maybe someday, even though Nintendo is allergic to putting games on sale, maybe, who knows, maybe I'll win the lottery and I can just buy my entire backlog and be all fine and dandy. Next up, Super Mario Party Jamboree. I was a big fan of Super Mario Party. I did not buy Mario Party Superstars, even though I did go to a friend's house and played a few times. Great game, fun game. And I didn't play Jamboree. I got it, but haven't really delved into it. But I hear it's definitely the best. And Jamboree TV's coming out for the Switch, so I'll definitely be playing that. Legends Arceus, another one I mentioned when talking about Scarlet and Violet. A very big departure from the Pokemon series. A bit more open world, definitely, than Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield really only had the wild area. This has like these larger areas, kind of like a Monster Hunter kind of thing, where you just go to an area and explore. You had new things like the Alpha Pokemon, the Agile and Strong style move, another great story with great characters. Really fun twist at the end, some new Pokemon. It was a really fun time. I'm really looking forward to Legends ZA, and I almost made the list, but like I said, not quite. Echoes of Wisdom, another 2D Link's Awakening-esque Zelda game, which I have not played. I have it. Didn't play it. Will play it. Mario Maker 2 is another fun game. Adding 3D world as an element for building your levels is fantastic. And it has pretty much endless replayability, but compared to the other games on the list, I just didn't add it. Because in between a lot of the good ones, there's also just a lot of fluff and shovelware on there. And then finally, is this the last one? It might be. This is the controversial one, Tears of the Kingdom. I have not finished Tears of the Kingdom. I didn't even do a single dungeon. My main goal in that game was the opposite of I do in most open worlds, because I love exploring the world of Zelda so much. I wanted to go across the land, find all of the the towers, and unlock the whole map before doing anything else, which is the opposite. Usually in these open world games, I blitz through the story and then find all the secrets and stuff later, which when I replay it on my Switch 2 with this upgrade pack, I will be doing that instead. And maybe it was because I played it too close after Breath of the Wild. I just didn't really vibe with this game too much. The champion powers look lackluster compared to the first games. The puzzle solving seems to be more trivialized with the building system. Probably a skill issue. Didn't really get with the Ultra Hand and things like that. But the powers overall I can see are an improvement to the first game. And the fuse system is also very, very cool. So I am looking forward to delving back into this game whenever the Switch 2 version comes out tomorrow. And yeah, that is my last honorable mention. But with that being said, let's finally see number 1. What else? What else would number 1 on this list be other than The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild? The launch title for the Nintendo Switch, and instantly was already one of, if not the best Zelda games and Nintendo games ever made. A massive, sprawling open world with different varieties of biomes, everything to explore. It had a gripping story and voice acting for the first time. And although it had a couple things that people didn't like the overabundance of the Korok seeds and the weapon durability system, this game is a marvel. As you heard in the previous section, maybe it was previous section with honorable mentions, and maybe it was Burnout. The reason why I didn't like Tears of the Kingdom as much as Breath of the Wild, and I'm starting to agree with the consensus online. I've spent borderline hours trying to think what is my favorite of the two, even though I didn't play Tears of the Kingdom. Everyone and their mother says Kingdom is the better game, but Breath of the Wild is the better experience. Tears of the Kingdom does look great, but nothing is going to beat coming out of the Shrine of Resurrection as the music the piano swells and you look over the Great Plateau and see the world. That is an unforgettable gaming moment. And after that, you were given free reign to go around the plateau however you seek. And then finally, once you get off the plateau, you can do whatever you want. The gripe I had with Scarlet and Violet kind of still being a set path does not exist. If you wanted to go from the island, run in your underwear with a woodcutter's axe to Hyrule Castle and fight Ganon, you can. Do you want to go and do all the side quests, do all the divine beasts, get everything unlocked and be like this uber demigod when you go up to Ganon? Feel free. This game really is the epitome of an open world experience. And everything about it is just incredible. The dungeons were fun, although not being some of the better ones in the series. The dungeons were great. And the visual style is very appealing to me. It has a bit of a grittier, darker storyline that I enjoy. Um, it's just magic. This game, I can't really put into words how insane that this game is. Um, Breath of the Wild is not my favorite Zelda. I'm one of the 3 Skyward Sword fanboys out there. That is my favorite, but this game, it's right up there. It's almost in my top 10. It'll probably enter my top 10 sometime in the future. Maybe, who knows, but alas. Anyway, that's going to do it for my top 10 Switch game list. It ends where it began, with Breath of the Wild. Thanks for watching.